What's going on, everyone? It's Jacklyn here from NothingButTech. I hope you guys are all doing well. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're talking all things Google Pixel 4 and 6 things that you should know before buying the Google Pixel 4 or the 4 XL. So I attended the event and I got to play around with it in the hands-on time. And now I actually have a personal unit, which I'm going to be reviewing over the upcoming weeks with both camera comparison videos and a general review. So subscribe if you want to see that. But in today's video, we're going to talk about the Google Pixel 4 and 4 XL. The first thing that I think is like kind of the overarching theme is Google's emphasis on software in all aspects rather than just hardware. It seems like they're really trying to make the Pixel 4 like a smartphone, like smart, rather than like a beautifully designed phone. And that starts out with some of the new features with Google Assistant. So Google Assistant still has the option to squeeze the phone to activate it, but it's now faster in activation and it's also better at answering questions. And alongside that, it now has a Titan M processor to protect data. You can ask Google Assistant to open up apps, search the phone, and it all just comes up at the bottom of the screen. It's kind of baked into the phone in a bunch of different ways, which is really nice. To go alongside the Google Assistant, voice recognition as a whole has gotten better this year as well. So they now have this new thing in their voice recorder app where it will basically index your text and transcribe it live. That's incredible. So you can literally speak and it will say what you're saying live, like written out, and then later on, like let's say that you mentioned a specific topic that you're recording in a meeting or something and you want to go back to it, like price, you can search up price and then it will show you what part of the recording had that word in it. So it indexes the speech, which is incredible, and they did it live on stage and it worked really well. So I'm actually really excited about that. Okay, number 2 on this list is another new feature called Motion Sense, and we've seen other companies like LG do this in the past, but it's basically using the motion of your hand to do different gestures on the screen, so you don't have to touch the screen if you're cooking or something. Seems nice. I tested it in the hands-on area, and I got it to work like 4 times in a row, and then never again. I used it to like switch songs in Spotify. So reliability doesn't seem great yet, but I also know that this is not like a production model yet. If it does end up working, you'll also be able to say no to calls and stuff, but right now it does not seem like it works 100% of the time, which means that you spend a lot of time like trying to get it to work, and then you may as well just hit the screen. It doesn't seem to be using this radar sensor though, which is kind of cool. It's like the first time it's ever in a phone, and basically with this sensor, let's say you set an alarm, if you get closer to the phone, it will start quieting the alarm sound, which is kind of cool. So again, I like to see this progress. It's just not like great yet. The radar sensor also allows for what Google is saying, the fastest secure face unlock on a phone. So much to the fact that they actually got rid of all other biometric ways of getting into the phone, so there's no fingerprint sensor. It's all based on your face. And it seems to be pretty fast, especially when you turn on the setting for it to use a radar sensor to prep itself when you're getting close to the phone, which is really cool. Okay, so the next one is the display. And aside from the fact that this has pretty big bezels, the display is really good. It's a 90 hertz refresh rate screen, which means it looks really, really smooth, and it also looks sharp. It doesn't seem to get extremely bright, so I'm going to obviously have to continue testing that, especially in daylight scenarios, but it is a good display, and I'm so happy that Google has gotten on that 90 hertz refresh rate train. It just looks so good. Continuing on with that design, the next thing that you should know before buying one is what color options you have. So you have Oh So Orange, my personal favorite. It looks dope. You have Just Black and Clearly White. So the Clearly White and the Oh So Orange do come in matte finishes, whereas the Just Black is glossy, so it will pick up a lot more fingerprints. In terms of the way that they actually look in person with the camera bump, it does not look as bad as I was expecting it to. The phones look like very minimal and clean. They're thin. They have the color power buttons. They have the Google logo on the back, but they're very clean, just like slabs of a phone. And they also don't have like a curved display, so they fit very comfortably in your hand. So it is a pretty thin phone, as I just said, and that may take a hit on battery life as the phones don't have like the largest capacity batteries. Only testing will tell that though. But in terms of just like general design, I actually really like it this year. And then in terms of pricing, it's $799 to start. So it is not the cheapest pricing in the world. It's definitely a premium phone. And in terms of how it fits into the market, you have phones like the OnePlus 7T that are less expensive and phones like the iPhone 11. So it might be a tough sell to the general consumer, but I think that what this phone does better than the OnePlus 7T is obviously the camera. And I think what this phone does better than most other phones is the software experience with Google Assistant and integrating into your life. Like if you have a lot of Google products at home, it will really be like the center of your smart setup and your smart assistant. So obviously I'm going to have to test that to see how that actually holds up, but pricing right now is not what I hoped it would be, but it's also like not an $1,000 phone. And then finally, the thing that I'm most excited about, the cameras. So the Pixel lineup has had some of the best cameras for a while now, and they've done it again with some upgrades. They've included new modes for night photography. Portrait mode has gotten a little bit better, although you can only use it now on the telephoto camera, which is a bummer. And while Google did add 2 cameras to the Pixel 4, there's no wide camera. That's also a bummer. So there's some good stuff here with the cameras, and there's a lot of improvements. And on stage, when they were talking about all the different things that you can do, like dual exposure, that's a really cool feature. I think it's going to be a really good camera, but they didn't emphasize a video mode like at all in the presentation. And that has me a little worried because the iPhone 11 and 11 Pro just came out, and they came out with an ultra-wide camera and really a great amount of improvements to dynamic range and other aspects that make a good photo. But iPhones also do really good video, and they're doing ultra-wide video. So it's going to make it a hard year for the Pixel 4 to compete with that and still be the best camera on the market. Obviously, I'm going to put it through its paces with camera comparison videos, and I think that in terms of like photography at night and in low light situations, the Pixel 4 still might be the best camera, especially with that dual exposure control. But it seems like video was not emphasized on the Pixel 4. And in terms of the front camera, you don't have like a wide lens, you only have a 90-degree field of view. That's still pretty good, but it's definitely less wide than in past years. You do get super res zoom though, which means that if you zoom in on a shot, like pinching before you actually take the shot, it will lead to a higher resolution than cropping in afterwards. So they recommend that you do that if you're going to want a closer angle. They also have live HDR+, and it uses machine learning to approximate HDR in the viewfinder. So oftentimes someone will take a photo and it will look like the windows are blown out, so they'll adjust the exposure, but then that will actually throw off the entire photo because the windows wouldn't have been blown out when Google processed it. So now they're going to kind of show you an approximation of what that will look like on your viewfinder, which I think will help visualize what the final photo is, which is always a good thing. It's definitely, as Google defines it, a software-based camera, and that's because while it doesn't have like the best hardware specs, software and computational photography has been a really good thing that Google has been pursuing for a couple years now. Like, they really have it down. Okay, so those are 6 things that you should know. Obviously, a lot more testing is going to be required before I can say if this phone is something that you should go out and buy. I've been hearing 2 ends of the spectrum of people that are really excited and really not, and I feel like that's often how it is with Pixel phones, but then when you get them in your hand and you're using them, it's impressive. I think that what's going to really sell me on this phone is if the camera has improved a lot and if video mode is good, so stay tuned for that. But this Google event was awesome. Like, I was in the room with so many of my friends from YouTube, and we got to hang out, and they gave us this really special unboxing experience of the phone being in a Domino's pizza box. So it was all cool things. It was just a great event, and I was excited to be there, but I'm obviously going to have to put the phone through its paces to find out more. So be sure to subscribe if you want to see that. Check out another video right here, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. I hope this lighting and everything looks okay. I'm filming in a hotel room, so not ideal conditions, but I know you wanted to see this, and I wanted to get it out. All right, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.